Hello and welcome to another SGR Coffee Break. This is episode 16, which means we can now legally drive, so I would stay off the internets from here on out. Carrie drives like a maniac.
You're an asshole.
I just drive like it. I just tailgate and cut people off. I drive a big truck, so my broadband is pretty good, although not nearly as good as Carrie's anymore. My truck is now small.
Okay. I don't even know how to process that.
Yeah, well,
Wow. Okay.
that's what happens when you have two people working out, and it just just goes the way it is. I have no
Are
fun.
you drunk?
I wish. I wish. I'm actually sleep deprived, and I have a lot of lactic acid in my body because I started weightlifting again. So I
Oh.
fucking hurt like a little
Water,
dog.
dude.
I I downed a gallon and a half of water yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let me tell you,
Water, stretch.
it hurts to stretch. It really does.
It means you're doing it right.
I'm doing it right.
That's right. Yeah,
So what are we
I hurt
talking about
myself
this week?
yesterday. I hurt myself yesterday in yoga, so
Oh
I,
look,
I, I
we're,
feel
we're a
it.
bunch of cripples.
I know. I don't have hip flexibility. And my teacher told me today, she goes, "Yeah, that comes last." I'm like, "Of course it does."
Oh, brother.
Oh, well, I guess I should be happy that I've gotten, strong enough that I can actually, do hold low plank for a while. Because before I couldn't even do that. I did not have the arm strength. So I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. Maybe one day I'll do a handstand. Yeah, I don't know. That's
I've
not
ne-
the top of my priority list.
I've never been able to do a handstand.
The weird thing is, when I was little, I could do like I could walk on my hands when I was little. Now I never could do a headstand, but I could
Nope.
walk on my hands. And now I can do a headstand and can't do a handstand. So, you know, life's cruel.
Fucking getting old sucks.
Well, now I'm
Getting older.
depressed, but okay.
Getting older.
Getting older, yes.
There we go.
If only I was doing this back when I was 20.
All right. If I could go back in time and tell myself,
Yeah, I wouldn't have listened.
yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
Been
Like,
like,
whatever, I'll always be this thin. Come on. Yeah.
I've been like, whatever, old you. Just made poor life decisions.
Right.
I got this shit in the bag.
You know what I don't have in the bag right now?
What don't you have in the bag?
Time to play games. It
Oh,
is so sad. Like, I'm actually in the process of writing this feature for work about how the current gaming culture has given us one of the biggest first world problems ever. And that's games, because there's so many games, and the games have so many of the games are so long. There's not enough time to play everything that you want to, which is a huge first world problem about, oh yeah, I don't have time to play games. And so I just started, thinking, because I still haven't finished Dragon Age Inquisition, because I mean I've put in, I think, 60 hours into it, and I'm still not done exploring. Uh, and I could, go to the end by now, but that's not me. I want to be able to look at all of it. So, and I just haven't had time because I've had other reviews. And just finished Final Fantasy Type Zero. And if I had been playing on a higher difficulty, there's no way I could have finished the game because I didn't grind enough, because I didn't do enough exploration and side questing and all that. But I was just really trying to get through it. And then, like, every time I think about The Witcher 3, I get super excited, but I'm like, oh my god, that game's gonna take me freaking forever. Like, their latest estimate is like, oh, if you try to do everything, it'll be about 200 hours.
wow.
Which is okay, all right, so I need to be better management of my time, but Jesus. And then, I think of like Grand Theft Auto, like all the open world stuff you can do there. And then, this new Legend of Zelda that they're working on is also going to be open world. So that has potential to be huge. And Zelda games are huge to begin with. Like, I remember Wind Waker could take you nearly 100 hours if you explored every little area. But, back then, Wind Waker was probably one of the only games at that time that came out because we didn't have the steady barrage of there's a huge game coming like every other week. So, I mean, I like that games are big because on the one hand, you know, we feel like we get enough bang for our buck. But on the other hand, it's like, are they, with the amount of games that are coming out, are they getting too big?
Well, I think you gotta kind of decide. You gotta. It's hard to determine what is too big because, like, what's too big for some people is too small for other people, right? So,
Right. It is relative.
some people think a 20-hour game is too long, while other people will say 20 hours. That's like a $40 game to me because that
But
just doesn't
also,
have enough.
okay, but that will depend on the genre. Like a 20-hour RPG, that's ridiculous. Because I feel like I shouldn't have even scratched the surface. 20 hours in an RPG. Because if you aren't spending every waking moment like doing all these side quests and learning more about the characters and the story, then it's not a good RPG. Because the RPG should really be about, you know, all the role playing and the getting into it and finding out what you're supposed to be doing. Um,
And see, here's the other one that I'll throw in there is that you haven't even brought up the fact that I know people that have like 2,000 hours invested just in Skyrim. Because
that's amazing.
they play a character, they max it out, they get the story, but then decisions and what you do and your character race and how you kind of plan out your character, it changes the game up a little bit. So I know several people that have gone through that game several times and done everything that they could do in it with all. And
Mm-hmm.
there's what a couple DLCs that added in, a good 15, 20 hours, and
I mean, I probably
so
did that with Mass Effect. You know, I've played Mass Effect 2 now to completion 3 different times, and I've made different decisions. Like my first time, you know, I took my Paragon, brought her in, made these certain decisions, which ended up killing my entire crew, which is a whole other story. And then I took my Renegade, brought him through, and of course the asshole keeps everybody alive, probably because now I know what I'm doing. And then I played a third time, bringing in my original Paragon again. But the difference is I made different choices in that I chose to say loyal to Caden just to see what the difference would be. So therefore, she didn't romance anybody. Which actually, in that scene, when the romance part is supposed to happen, is really sad. She just looks at a picture of Caden and wipes her eyes and turns her back and goes away. I was like, damn. And and I was able to keep everybody alive because again, I knew what I was doing. So I've done that. Now, Mass Effect, the first one, I played that one twice, making 100% different decisions. Whatever I decided the first time, I made the opposite decision the second time to watch how that played out. And so I can see that happening. Like I did that same thing with Infamous. You know, I played that twice to see how that all plays out. And I'm already, you know, thinking about Dragon Age Origins, like, because there's so many different ways you could play that and
oh,
all the decisions you can make. And the same thing with not as much Dragon Age 2, but the same thing with Dragon Age Inquisition. And I know The Witcher 3 is going to be that way too, because they've already said there's 40 different endings depending on your choices.
yeah, I would question that though because I've heard there's been many games where they're like, oh, we have X amount of endings, and then really all it is two endings are relatively the same, just one small dialogue switch, and they consider that a
Well,
new ending.
uh,
So
okay, I can see that. And Mass Effect 3 came under fire for that too, because technically, like, if you count up the number of differences in the endings, there are over 30. But there are about just but there are 3 choices you can make at the end, and just depending on different things that you decided, there's varying degrees of what happened. Like if you, for example, like in the end, if you don't do any of the if you don't raise your battle rating like at all, by the time you get to the end and whatever decision you make, the earth will explode. You know, so which to me, like, yes, that's a variation of a degree, but I think that's a pretty significant decision. And like if you only do like halfway, the earth will be scorched, but mostly there. And with the director's ending, the new director's cut, or the expanded ending, I guess, that they added because everyone bitched about it, I learned through Prima Games that EA added in a "fuck you" ending, where if you do nothing at all, everybody dies. Like you don't even get to the point to make a choice because Earth dies, everybody dies, ships explode, and that was their way. Like if you don't want to burn, if you're just trying to burn through this and not do extra work, fuck you. This is what you get, which I kind of appreciate.
I kind of like that. I would like to
Yeah.
watch the world burn, actually.
Well, there you go. Just go. You can go play Mass Effect 3 and make your horrible decisions and
Watch the world burn. I'm
watch
all
everybody
for that.
die.
So here's a question for you then. So we've been mainly talking about RPGs, right? You know,
Mm,
Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Skyrim, uh,
Skyrim,
the Witcher
Witcher.
series. I mean, all these are. I mean, they're all kind of pretty much designed to be big experiences. Um, and they are what you make them, right? Like you could go through and beat Skyrim, and I think I've seen a speed run in a couple of hours. You know, so it's us making the game become this big thing, right? Because obviously you want to go explore stuff and you want to kind of see that and you want to
Hmm.
make other decisions and help it out. But
Oh no.
Diablo 3, right? So is that becoming a game that's too big, or is it just the fact that we find those games that we really have a lot of fun in.
Uh-huh.
So, we both can agree Diablo 3 is a lot of fun for us. You very much enjoy Dragon Age. I spent a good couple hundred hours in Skyrim, you know, and I even Elite Dangerous. That's just a completely open kind of game that who knows. I don't have a nice little Steam counter on that to tell me how many hours I've invested in that game, but pretty sure we're approaching triple digits now, if not already. But it's is it that the games are too big, or is it just that we find certain games more fun than others, and we're willing to invest more time in those games, and therefore that's why our stacks of shame kind of start growing because we're like, yeah, well, that game was fun, but if I'm going to spend some time because I only have so much on my time on my plate, I'm going to do it in a game that really intrigues me and I like the world versus I'm going to play Final Fantasy Type Zero.
Are you insinuating I didn't enjoy the world?
No,
You'd be you'd be
I,
right, but
I want to play it, but it's like between all the games that I'm already playing, and I really want to play Final Fantasy Type Zero because I do enjoy Final Fantasy games. But at the same point, I'm like, if I'm going to spend a couple hours on my weekend playing a
Mhm.
game, I'm probably going to invest it in something that I know is going to be fun, or that I'm going to be playing with friends, or like Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to play with my brother. We're going to have a good time, and
Right.
it's not that those games to me those games aren't too big. I think really things such as Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto with their online and the open worldness is that it's just the people that end up enjoying that, they're going to sink that amount of time into it, and the people that just want to play it to experience the story, they're going to kind of skip a lot of the side mission crap. They're just going to get the story. They're going to kind of experience it, and then they're going to move on.
Mhm.
And so, to me, I like the fact that we have, especially in a world now where everything is freaking going to
In a world.
in a world dominated by iPhone games where you play in 5 minute bursts. Along comes a game.
I mean,
With
don't get me wrong, like I love big games, obviously. Well, now I feel like I need to like start rapping. I love big games and I cannot lie. Um, some other mothers may deny. Okay, so I really do, but this is a huge first world problem. I totally admit it, and this is one of those things like we can't win. It's like it's either too short or it's too long, and people complain. Like for example, for me, the Order 1886 was too short. That they could have gone so much deeper into that. But for other people, it's like, oh, that was a perfect like little bite size game. I mean, and I'm looking at my stack of shame. Like, I bought Final Fantasy 14 recently, and I'm trying to figure out when the fuck can I play this? Because I still want to finish Dragon Age Inquisition. I I gotta have Witcher in May 19th, and that's gonna take up like my life. So, and I'm gonna be reviewing Heaven's Ward when it comes out in June. So when am I gonna have time to fit this thing And oh my god, Pillars of Eternity. I haven't even like come close to finishing Pillars of Eternity. I haven't even turned it on. I have a strategy guide to review that's still in the wrapping that's staring at me, and I can feel Prima Games hate just blaring in the back of my skull about it. But it's like, oh my god, there's so much. And a lot of it is me. I totally admit it because I like these big RPGs. I like the story. I mean, I could just, resign myself, like, screw RPGs. I'll just play, the shooters that'll take, 10 hours through the story and move on. But so again, yes, first world problem, 100% my fault. That's one reason why I haven't even started Majora's Mask yet. I keep looking down. I was like, I know it's gonna take me forever.
I should probably buy that game. I know that that's going to be hard to find one soon, but I just I can't
Well, you
finish
know
this.
that they're re-releasing the Majora's Mask 3DS XL, right?
Yeah. Are they changing the design of it?
No.
Oh well, fuck that. I could care
Yeah,
less.
yeah. I would only want it if they made it more the classic look, like just the Triforce or
Yeah.
Hylian Shield. The
Yeah.
Master Sword. Something classic, not very game specific. But although, what is that game that makes me want to get a new 3DS?
Xenogears. Xenogears.
Xenoblade.
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 Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally want that.
Yeah.
I played that shit out of that on the Wii. That was such a good game.
Another massive game that I don't have time for.
Oh man. Having commitment sucks.
Well, you know what I think the deal is? I just need to get rid of the kids. If I didn't have kids, I would have much more time for this.
You probably would. You
Yeah.
probably would. You wouldn't
And
be
more money
going.
because they're expensive. They demand a lot of stuff.
You know what I'm hearing is that I'm pretty lucky I don't have kids. This is great. I love the fact that I don't have to. I have a cat that I have to take care of. And let me tell you, cats are way easier than kids.
Well, yes, because cats deign to let you live with them, and they're very low maintenance.
Nope. But
Although, Ross and Audrey were in town by accident. We went out to dinner, and I heard that the cats and the dog aren't getting along.
oh.
And so one of the cats was trying to play with the dog, and Audrey was trying to get out of the way and ended up stepping on the cat, which, like the cat's paw, which the cat loved.
Oh yeah.
So the other cat jumped off the couch and attacked the dog. Like she said, there is fur flying, there is screaming going on. I'm going to break up this fight.
Oh, so clearly games aren't getting too big. Having babies and animals that hate each other is, of course, the problem here.
It is. Basically, I'm pretty much just like, yep, it's the first world problem. The problem is me and kids.
So,
I like too many of them, and I have kids who take up too much of my time.
so pro tip: just stay in school. Stay in school. Have
And
no
don't,
commitments. You know
and
what?
don't do drugs.
And if you can make it to the university level, just constantly go for a new degree. Just when you see your senior year, get that degree and be like, the job market for this degree kind of sucks. I'm going to restart and go for this other. Just keep doing that. Be a professional student. You'll be happier. You'll get a lot more gaming in and attend a lot
Who's
more
going to
parties.
pay for that? Us?
Scholarships.
Get the esports scholarship?
Oh shit, yeah. So now that
I
we've
actually think that's cool that they're offering those types of scholarships for colleges that have like the video game design degrees and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool.
well, even
As
the
much
game
as,
companies now, Blizzard had that one,
yeah,
Hearthstone one for 10 grand. So
even though I still refuse to call this a fucking sport.
yeah, I don't know
It's a
that I.
tournament. It's a they're
Yeah,
they're
that's
they're
pretty
they're
much what I would call it.
tournaments. They're
Uh,
I mean, yes, they are talented people, but are the athletes? Yeah, they're professionals. They are professional gamers.
yep. And
Well,
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know why they can't be happy with that.
because esports sounds better than here's another League of Legends tournament that happens this weekend.
See, esports to me sounds pathetic. It sounds like, look, I'm a jock too. No, no, you're not.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think
E-jocks.
I don't think in the fighting game world they even call it esports. They pretty much just call it tournaments.
Fighting
Really.
tournaments. Well, that makes sense.
So,
Although I have this week understood the need for a fight stick.
oh,
Yeah, so my first lesson in Mortal Kombat 10, other than stopping the game, turn down the difficulty from medium to easy because, yeah, and maybe I should go do a tutorial. Yeah, because there's not a tutorial. It's just like, boom,
well,
there you go.
that's what the training stage is for.
Well, I didn't. Okay, I didn't know there was. I was expecting the training stage to be part of the story. I didn't realize I'd have to go into the practice mode and complete the tutorial. I mean, it just like dropped you in. I'm like, well, how do you do stuff? So I'm having to look at like the controls, and then of course, it changes for every character. Like just when I mastered this one thing, you change it on me. God damn it, I suck at this. And then the other thing I learned was do not use the analog stick.
Uh,
No. As soon as I gave up and started using the D-pad, oh.
well, I think that's there's a big debate right now because I've watched a couple of the pro uh, fighting game guys because they were able to play it like Monday night. Um, so and they all play on pads, which is a
Mm-hmm.
controller, and they all agree that the pad is the better way to play this game. Some of them agree that the D-pad is the way to go, and some of them say the analog nub is the way to go. So it's really preference
Preference.
on that aspect. But so far, it's kind of like Dead or Alive. A lot of people will play that on a pad because it just works better for them, just
Yeah.
because of the way that the move set is.
Well, I mean, just with the problem that I had with the analog stick is that I would jump too much, and with some of the moves, like you have to do like the left or down at the same time, or in a sequence or whatever. I just couldn't get that down. But once I moved my hand, like, can I use the D-pad? And when I saw that you could, oh, thank God. And then I really felt like I had a little more control of my button presses, and I was actually able to figure out a couple of moves.
You want to know? Did you find the option there? If you go into options,
Mm-hmm.
there is a timing option that you can turn on and off.
Okay.
When you're going like back, forward, and then you have to press X
Yeah.
or square.
Uh-huh.
Uh, there's two ways that can go. You can like back forward in it, like while you're kind of releasing forward, you can press the button,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is you have to completely release forward and then hit the X at exactly that right point.
Okay.
So if you go into the options, you can turn that off. So that
Hmm.
way it gives you a little bit more leeway as to when it is that you actually hit that button.
Okay. Also,
No.
it sounds like I have to play around with it a little more because, like, I'm looking at the button presses for, not the combos, but just the sequences to do
Mhm.
like a special attack. And it's like, do I press each one of those individually? Do I press it all at the same time? I kind of can't tell. So I'm just so maybe if I turn that off, or if I change that option, I'll be able to figure out. And
Well,
again, I need to do the tutorial. I bet that'll teach me a little bit more too.
you on this Mortal Kombat, yes, even though it says it's like down towards, you can actually
Mm-hmm.
do the little quarter circle,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll execute that move. Um, if it's like back up, back down, yeah, you kind of have to do those all separately,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you'll start learning that you have to hold block at the same time because block will stop you from jumping.
Okay.
Because if you jump, it'll screw that up, and it's particularly important when you're
But if I
ex-
hold block, it won't interrupt the
no.
sequence?
So what
Or you
you
just
do
hold,
is
or you hold block, you press block, and then you do the sequence?
you do block, you
Uh-huh.
execute the part where it's going to make you like if you're
Right, right,
going
right.
back up, you kind of have to start figuring out your timing as to when to release block,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing fatalities that are in that close range. Because sometimes if you're going back, it'll pull you out of that.
Mm-hmm.
It also matters if you're doing combos because it'll stop you from, kind of moving out of range for your combo to actually hit. But um, you'll find out that you can use block, and it will stop you from actually moving, crouching, all of that, and you just kind of start figuring out, okay, I can hold block, do this 4 key sequences, release block, do the attack, hold block again, do 2 more key sequences, finish off that set of key sequences, execute that move. So,
Okay.
so those are my
I
little.
have so much to learn. It's definitely been a while, but I'm having fun. I think I'll have more fun now that I figured out. I was like, oh, like I think I played for about a couple. No, it was only about an hour. As long as I had time to play. So I get to chapter 2 in the story. I'm like,
That's where I'm
okay.
at.
I was like, okay, I am like really sucking this up. I had to skip a fight with Johnny. It was against Jax, and I said, because I was curious, like, what happens if you skip a fight? And like, oh, there's skip coins, okay, or skip tokens. So I see how this works. And then I had to skip, and like with Kotal Khan, like I suck at it. So like I did like 2 fights with him. I skipped one, got the second fight. I was like, okay, that's it. I need to quit because I'm about to use all my tokens in chapter 2. So then I went and so I quit, went to the main menu, went to the options, like, oh, you can turn down the difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I mean, okay, maybe it makes me pathetic or whatever, but I'm learning. It's been a while. I'm not a seasoned veteran. I mean, I was able to, once I got a good rhythm down with Johnny, I was pretty good. But Kotal Khan moves much more slowly, and I find that his basic attacks. Basic is a hard way to put it, but like, Johnny will do like really good combos with like his punches and kicks, and Kotal Khan does not. Versus he relies a little bit more on the special moves, and some of the special moves just take a long time to execute. It was like I was able to get like one of them, like I got the sequence in and he was doing it, but he takes so long to do it that the AI was able to come in and sweep the leg. So or like jump over me and kick me in the face or whatever. So I just know that this is gonna take some time to learn, but far haven't been disgusted by anything I've seen, which is good. I mean, disgusted as in physically ill, because that was a concern I was having. Probably because like it hits you on so early on, like the opening sequence, you see
Oh,
that guy with the big hole in his face.
yep.
Shot. It's like, well, that is kind of what would happen if you got shot in the face. So, moving on.
I've only seen uh I've only seen one fatality where I was like, oh wow, okay, that was a little brutal.
Yes. Yeah. Especially like the slice the face in half, and you see like
Oh, there's several of the
the brain kind of
Scorpion and
pulsing.
uh, uh, oh, God, the blind guy.
Oh,
He throws a sword up and it spins, and then he uses his kinetic powers and moves the guy forward, and you see the face get sliced, and then the second part of the face gets sliced, and then it just kind of goes through. And Scorpion does one too, where he cuts the front of your face off, and the tongue is pulsating.
yes. See, and I saw that in at E3, which is when I was like, oh my god, I'm about to vomit here until like 9 a.m.
Oh, so
Well, not only that, while the tongue's pulsating, one of the arteries in the face is pumping
squirt
out
blood.
blood
Yep.
with the beat of the heart as the heart slows
And
down.
the brain kind of like jello molds itself
Yes,
out of the skull.
slides out of the skull.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of realistic.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
kind of what would happen. You just don't want to think about it, but it
and this is
would.
why I got it, I unboxed it, and then I did the patch. Then I had to go online because apparently, if you put in the codes before we got the game installed, you have to go online and tell the store to actually force the downloads. So, like to get Goro and to get the Scorpion skin, I had to go to the PlayStation Store and force that. But
Well, that explains a lot because I entered in my Goro code yesterday through the PlayStation Store on my PC, and then when I went to the download list, it wasn't there. So I guess I'm gonna have to go to my PSN.
yeah, you have to go on the PSN and then just tell it download the PS4. Like I did it while my PS4 was on, and I clicked it, and within 2 seconds, all of a sudden, a little pop up on my PS4. It was like
Yeah,
downloading Goro, and I was like, okay, I don't know why this was such a thing that had to be happened, but whatever.
yeah. I don't know why you can't queue it up into your download list like anything else that you would. And the only thing I think of is that because it's not something that's directly into the PSN store, because it's a pre-order incentive. It's not like it's in the PSN store for you to see to purchase. And
No, you can buy it.
oh, you can purchase it, the
As
Goro
far
skin.
as far as I can tell, because I you can go like if you're in the game, you can go to Goro because he's already
Mm-hmm.
there, and you
Mm-hmm.
go into the PlayStation Store. But mine already said that it was purchased because I already had the code, so I was like, well, fucking just download it. And so I'm pretty sure you can go. It's probably one of the DLC
Okay,
kind of things.
that's stupid. I wonder if that. But that sounds like maybe it's not a PSN thing. It's a
Uh,
game thing.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
It doesn't matter. It sounds like it's a pain in the ass.
It is. It
But
is
are
a
you
little bit.
having fun with it?
Oh, I had a ton of fun with it. I played like you. I did the first chapter of the story. I was like, okay, I'm sick of playing Johnny Cage because I don't like Johnny Cage. So I took a break. I went and made dinner and all that, and then I was like, okay, I've had 2 beers. Let's play this game now. And so I just went into the trading stage and was just working through the characters because there's a bunch of new characters now. So it was like, oh, I want to see how all these characters play out. So I kind of started doing that. Started working on X-rays. I was doing some fatalities just to see how the fatalities go because everybody you get your first fatality and then you have to unlock the second one and then all the
Mm-hmm.
brutalities and all that other stuff. So I spent I don't know 2.5 3 hours just doing that, just figuring characters out, seeing how each plays, going through because each character now has 3 different stances. Which what I really liked about that was, it seems like they took one aspect of each character and then made that into its own fighting style. So Scorpion has his whole fire thing, so he's
Mm-hmm.
got like a fire stance, and then you have Reptile who can blend it. One of his stances is that he can blend into the stage. Another one is he's surrounded by an acid cloud. Um, I really like that. Like they just took one of the moves that you would have known from previous Mortal Kombat's and kind of made their own fighting style around that. They all, I mean, they're relatively all kind of the same, except for
Mm-hmm.
you get different moves. Like Scorpion can surround himself with fire, which then obviously slows people from wanting to come grab you because all of a sudden they get hurt. And same thing with Reptile because he surrounds himself with the acid cloud. So that was all pretty cool. I really liked the stage interactions, and I really liked how they executed that is to when you're by a point where you can actually use the stage,
Mm-hmm.
that part of the interactive stage will kind of light up so you know that you're by it. Um, I've had a couple
Actually,
times where
I look at my health bar as soon as I see the R1. I'm like, press it, press it, press it.
so it's I really like the those stage interactions. The I like how X-rays are now tied to a meter, meaning that you can only execute them every so often, as opposed to you could basically were like throws before. And now you have to build up that meter to do the X-ray, and the X-rays are just freaking they're rough. And I found my favorite one is reptiles because he basically uh, crushes your head, then grabs you by the skull and takes his thumbs and shoves them into your eyes, and then picks you up and slams you down on the ground, and then crushes your head into the ground. I was like, oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
See, I didn't know that you could trigger that, which is, I guess, another reason why I need to do the tutorial. Because I see the little meter at the bottom. I'm like,
Yeah, and once
what?
you have
What is that?
once you have the X, that means you can do the X-ray, which then you just do the L2 and R2 together, and it will execute the X-ray.
Okay. Oh, see, but again, I didn't do the tutorial because I was expecting the tutorial to be in the story mode. So I need to get my ass into the practice gym.
Or or you just press start and go through the move list.
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up, but it was so overwhelming.
Oh, well,
I'm like,
there's
oh my god, because again, it has been a. I'm trying to think. The last fighting game I have played was Soul Calibur 3,
that's a long time ago.
or was it the, or was it DBZ?
Oh God, yeah, one of
I can't.
those.
I can't remember the Japanese name, but the tournament. It was the second one, not the third. I played the second one, which was on PS2. So we're talking PS2, GameCube era. was the last time I really did fighting games. I got really good. No, or was it Smash Brothers Melee? Again, that's still GameCube era, but I mean, I got really good at Smash Brothers Melee, and I never got good at Soul Calibur, and I got really good at DBZ. But again, like I played it constantly, so I was always like learning, and I would go to the practice room and like, okay, I'm going to learn this move, and so I
So
was just have to do that again, I guess.
let's tackle the one thing that I saw was a big controversy, and you know what I did not see as a controversy.
Huh.
So everybody's all up in arms about fucking DLC on this game, right? So let's get one thing straight. Easy fatalities are already built into the game. It's not like you're buying easy fatalities. You're buying the tokens, which you can unlock in the fucking crypt.
You're given 3 tokens at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so you have that. You have, I think, 2 to 4 fast forwards so we can skip a fight.
Right.
That shit's already in the. It was there. All you're doing is like, hey, I don't want to do the crypt and go try to find more tokens or whatever. So you're just buying the fucking you're not buying easy fatalities. Those are already there. They're in the fucking move list.
And I think what people were thinking, I'm sorry, people were thinking with the easy fatalities was that you're buying them. It's like I think people were thinking it was like a one button press thing, just to show off, and that there was no other way to get it. So as soon as I saw that it was already in the game, like, okay, people relax. All they're doing is they're just adding in some of the free to play things for people who maybe have no patience, or they suck at fighting games worse than I do, and they don't really want to have the time to go through the crypt and get all these new tokens, so they just want to buy them. And if they want to spend their money on that, let them.
And here's the other one that I did not. I admit I've been trying to stay off Twitter a lot more lately because it seems like all Twitter is anymore is a bunch of people pissing and moaning about something or another every day. But the one thing I did not see was you can, for $20 you can unlock everything in the crypt.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you don't, and the crypt is always like one of those things. I mean, I always find it fun because you walk around so I walked around the crypt a little bit yesterday too, and it's cool because you have like different entrances. So you're walking around like a graveyard, and then there's this little side entrance, and you go in there and you're getting attacked. And I could see where some people may not like it because there's treasure chests that also spawn at specific times. So I really wish there was a fucking strategy guide because I would really like to know what those times are that all the chests spawn. But again, you earn coins with a K, every fight. If you're actually not in the training stage, but you're playing the story mode, you do the towers, you do
online matches.
Online matches. The single player, if you're just fighting one person, you can do that too. See, you're always getting coins. Yeah, there's a lot of shit to unlock. And I could see where some people would want to pay because for $20 you get, let's face it, you get all the fatalities now. All the fatalities are unlocked. You get all the costumes; those are unlocked. You get all the concept art. I believe that you can unlock stages. I haven't really seen that or looked into it. You used to be able to unlock stages, so I'm assuming that's still here too. But $20 you get it all now versus you have to kind of religiously play for a couple hours to unlock it. I like the exploration aspect of it, but at $20 it saves you that time. What did you think of the faction stuff?
I think it's interesting. I like the idea of the matches that you do, built towards your faction, so that you can and then you can watch it in almost in real time, with people with factions they've aligned with, like who's kind of taking over.
Yep.
So like I thought that whole aspect was kind of neat.
Did you by any chance go on the leaderboard?
Yes.
Was your leaderboard Scorpion, Sub-Zero, 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 Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero, Raiden? No. That was mine.
Raiden was number 1 on mine. Raiden, Sub-Zero, 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 Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden.
So there you go, kids. If you want to be at the top of the leaderboard.
And what didn't surprise me also at all was that the top faction, at least yesterday, was the Lin Kuei, which has which Sub-Zero is the leader.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, so everyone's going for them. Oh, and the other thing about, but for the faction you pick, there's like faction kills.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it's kind of cool, the unique faction kills. So it was kind of fun to use Kotal Khan, and because I lined with the special forces, his faction kill, he whips out a gun out of nowhere, and which is kind of awesome. It's on the one hand, it's kind of like what the fuck, but you don't have to do it, but still just kind of cool. Like, yes, we are part of this faction.
Yep. And the other thing that I like too is that you're not locked into it.
Yes, you
There
can
is the
switch
option
it
that you can switch
anytime.
it anytime that you want, and if you find out that your fighting game friends are all on one faction, you can go ahead and switch over. And I'm curious to see what happens because apparently it's a war, so they plan on doing this throughout the course of the game, and eventually they're going to cut it off. So it's going to be like seasons in Diablo, where all suddenly, season one's done, so
Mhm.
the war's over, and whatever faction was at the top, I guess, gets something or another. I don't really. It's like, okay, I'm really curious how this plays out, but
Yeah, I'm really curious about that too.
it also because if you do a faction kill, it also adds more points than if you just do a normal fatality or brutality. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to kill people in this game now. Between the
Yeah,
fatalities, the brutalities, the faction kills, I think there was one more that I saw in there, but I was like, I just want to do the brutalities and fatalities, and so all right, let's move on. Otherwise, we're gonna be here all day.
oh yeah. I mean,
Needless to say, we both are pretty much enjoying the game. I probably shouldn't have given Carrie so many tips because now she'll probably just foot sweep and kick my ass. So, what else have you been
I
playing?
I doubt that. I played more Axiom Verge. My review is up on Action Trip right now. I really enjoyed my time with Axiom Verge. Has it turned me onto platformers? No. But this one I think just had enough uniqueness about it, and that I felt more of the need for exploration than I did anything else. So it just kind of tapped into that. Like I would spend hours just making sure I had exhausted every possible way I could go with the weapons that I had. I mean, there were some issues with it. Like, I really don't like that there was no easy way to kind of like jump between maps. I mean, yes, you eventually unlock areas you can pretty much, they'll pretty much link to almost any room. But I just kind of wish there was an easy way, like to jump between the save points. That would have been nice because like if you when you backtrack through rooms, the enemies respawn. So it's not like you're just kind of going back through the room. So you have to still fight the enemy. So if you get careless or get cocky and you get killed, you respawn back at the last save point you were at, not the closest one to you. So so there are several times I was like, well, I wonder if what I have now will work in that earlier room. And I backtracked through across like 2 or 3 maps because I didn't have it where I could get through there fast enough, and got all the way over there just to realize that no, the weapon I have does not let me go through this room, so I have to go back. And then I died. I had to go. Yeah. So that was kind of my thing. I did get overly frustrated near the end. It tapped into a point. I was like, yep, I got no patience for this shit. But I really appreciate what he tried to do. I mean, he really brought back like, oh yes, remember how great Metroid was? And the cool thing is, as I found out there, when you are able to unlock the passwords,
Mhm.
you can type in Justin Bailey, and when that happens, the main character Trace, he will be in a bikini and heels, which is kind of awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So I mean, that was pretty much just like just in case you weren't aware of what inspired me for this game. There you go. So there's that. And then I finished Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. And I'm not as angry about it as a lot of my other JRPG friends are. There is a lot there, just because I guess at this point after Final Fantasy 13 2, I've gotten used to the Square Enix what the fuck. And this doesn't make any sense. There's so many questions that were never answered, and maybe they get answered if you play it again, because maybe things will click a little bit more. Or maybe it's like the game Near, that when you play when you play a second time, you get access to more cutscenes to kind of give you like different perspectives. I think I need to read the guide a little bit more about that, but I think that's the case. And unfortunately, I don't care. Because they have so many questions. There's so many questions I have that I don't even know if they can possibly answer them all. As I have a feeling they just seriously just threw stuff in there in total Square Enix fashion because we just have to end the world in some way. I mean, the ending was sad, but it was expected to me anyway. Um, so, like, a lot of people, when I was getting near the end, they're like, oh, just be sure to talk to me because I'm sure you're going to be angry. No, I really wasn't that angry. Maybe because I had a feeling people kept saying I was going to be angry, or I'm just used to the Square Enix what the fuck. Because that's what I mean. Really, after 13-2, like seriously, nothing about this franchise surprises me anymore. So I'll be interested in Final Fantasy 14 if I have that same. What the
Oh,
fuck?
well,
I might.
it is an MMO, so you're. I mean, to get to that end content,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a long way out.
Oh well, figures.
So
Yeah. So
you
that's
may never see that what the fuck moment.
maybe I won't. That'd be a shame though.
Yeah.
At least I didn't pay full price for the game. It was on sale at Best Buy for $20. Not bad.
Okay. Yeah.
No, no. So yeah, that's all. So I am going to get the guide done this week. I've like, yes, this is happening, and then hopefully get back to Pillars of Eternity next week, along with Mortal Kombat and other games I don't have time for.
Hooray.
Yeah. What about you?
More Elite Dangerous. Did some more Bloodborne. I haven't gotten to the third. I don't. I played a little bit and then I was like, I'm gonna play something else. I did some Helldivers. Game hasn't really changed. And then out of curiosity, I downloaded Marvel Heroes 2015, and this is like a Diablo 3 goes MMO kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a free game. Obviously, they have the whole in-game currency thing. So if you want to unlock new heroes, you either have to. What I like is that their paywall is only there if you want to kind of like not grind stuff out. So they have a currency called Eternity Shards. They drop. I was getting one about every 7 to 8 minutes. Obviously, you need a lot. So most characters are 400 Eternity Shards, or I forget what the in-game currency was, but G coin or whatever it is. So you can really grind that out, and you can unlock costumes doing the same with the same Eternity Shards. I think the only thing that you can't unlock with Eternity Shards. No, because I got storage space too. There was one thing that I found that I don't think you could do with Eternity Shards, but I can't remember what it is. Obviously, it wasn't that important. So you could, I mean, really, you could play the entire game for free, and it does have a little bit of roughness to it. It's not nearly as polished as something like Diablo 3 is, but there is just something horribly fun about going against the human laser with a team that consists of like Magneto, Storm, Colossus, Juggernaut, and I play as Ghost Rider. I did pay
Mm-hmm.
for Ghost Rider. I will easily admit that. Because if I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna play like one of my favorite heroes. So, uh,
Well, considering that's the only thing you've paid,
oh
you know,
yeah,
that's.
and you get there's like 6 starting characters that you can choose, and you can play them all till level 10. And then at that point, you get one free unlock. So you have to choose between those like 6 people, and it's like uh, Black Panther, Storm, Colossus. Uh, I forget the other ones. Oh, Hawkeye.
Cyclops, I thought you said.
Yeah, but I thought that he was. I don't know if it was just because he was there, but yeah, Cyclops is another one. So you get them all to level 10, and then the game's like, okay, you get no more experience. You have to uncap it, right? So you get one free uncap. So you can play even after you choose a character. So like I chose Colossus, and I can still play all the other starting characters, but I can only get them to level 10. Then after that, you have to obviously either use Eternity Shards or pay for them. And what's
Mm-hmm.
nice is that I tried out all the characters. I got like 4 of them to level 10. And then I was like, okay, fine, fuck it. I'm just going to do Colossus now. So, and all their progress stays. So as you've gotten gear for them, all that gear stays as well. Uh, but like the storyline, it's okay. I guess
It's comic book. I mean, come
yeah.
on.
I'm working my way through that, but they also have like uh, kind of like Diablo, where you had rifts, greater rifts, and bounties. So they have challenges. So you basically get an area and you have a list of tasks. So like one of them was is that you had to kill 800 enemies, take out 12 bosses, no, 10 bosses, 12 sentinels, and something else. So and
Mhm.
like you go there and there's just random players. There's just a bunch of people running around and you're all trying to do it. So you can kind of open up your map and see all their little arrows. And when there's a boss, you can kind of tell because there's a big cluster of arrows. And right now they have well, when I was playing, they had a thing called the Odin event going on. And if you kill the boss, an Odin chest would drop. So you pick up the Odin chest and you go back and you'd open it up and it's all this kick ass gear and it'd all be like 2 to 3 levels out in front of you. So I mean, it was so easy to level just doing these challenges. And then you get terminals, which you have, it's like, here's a task, go do it. Okay, now that you've got that task done, now go do this task. And the tasks get progressively harder. So there's like a green, blue, yellow, red terminals and all that kind of stuff. So,
Oh, okay.
I mean, for a free game, there's a ton of stuff to do. Only had one problem with lag, and that was like the middle of the day on Saturday. So, I mean, that was all right. I've had a couple problems with character spawns and like your if you're targeting something, all of a sudden you'll get stuck on that target, so you're trying to run away and your arrow won't untarget it. So you're like, okay, just fucking stop attacking before you kill me.
Give me a
So
minute, man. Give me a minute.
so, but yeah, I mean, it's a big game, and there's a lot of the community in there is actually pretty good. I was watching chat, and there wasn't any really stupid shit happening in chat. It was like people would ask like what character should I get? What's the goodness between this character? And then people would kind of like have discussions about which characters they liked and why the characters were. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play a ranged character. I kind of want to know before I went with Ghost Rider, and he's pretty much melee. Um,
Mhm.
you can go online and look it up, and you can see that they keep doing reviews, which is basically they'll tweak characters, and one character is really good right now, and then they'll review it, and then obviously it turns into not such a good character. And I think that's how they're getting people to buy new characters
Okay.
if they don't have the eternity shards. Is that your favorite character may be really kick ass right now, but in 6 months or a year when they do these reviews, your kick ass character is also not so kick ass, and also
Right.
that one person. So I can kind of see that, but it was cool because people are really helpful in the chat. So it's like, how do I want to do this? And you're asking the same question, right? Because you're logging in at a time, so you have no idea how many times it's been asked. But like, I logged in, and was like, hey, where are the Odin chests dropping? Are they still dropping in X place? They're like, no, they're back in the terminals now. So I was like, oh, thanks, cool. So I go do some terminal runs and get some more Odin chests, and so far it's been a very positive experience. Yes, it does still need a little bit of tweaking here and there, and the bugs when they do come up, they are kind of annoying. I'm really just trying to plow through the single player just to have that done and out of the way, and I'm on the very last chapter now, so that'll be cool to finally have that done. And then I just plan on doing the terminals and challenges because it's been a good time. So yeah, I mean, it's on Steam. You can get it for free. It's a 30 gig download. You really never have to drop a dime on it if you don't want to. But if you really want Rogue, it'll cost you probably like $5, $10.
Okay. I'll do it because I know me.
I mean, I was just like, yeah, I could grind this out, but I need to grind out 200 of these shards. And really, the game, I didn't actually spend money until I was like 15 hours in. I was like, okay, obviously I'm enjoying the game enough. I'll go ahead and drop the $10, unlock Ghost Rider. And then I was just like, oh shit, this is so much more fun. So, I mean, if you're going to play it and not really invest a whole lot of money, just choose a character that you really like and then play it and have fun with it.
I mean, I downloaded it.
So it is, I mean, it is a Diablo type game. You're basically hunting for better loot, and you're going to be fighting. The enemies do get very repetitive. There's not a whole lot of real greatness in enemy characters design, but
Mhm.
you know, when you just when you're beating up on comic book characters, becomes pretty enjoyable. So and Sentinels. The nice thing is that like they went back to the '90s Sentinels, so you have the big
Oh,
giant.
nice.
Yeah, and when they come in, they have their target acquired. It pans out. The other thing that I really found that I enjoyed up to a point is the character banter. So when you come into the hub worlds, obviously there's a bunch of characters there, right? So Colossus is he's a Russian and he's like, "Oh, comrade Cyclops, it is good to fight with you." You're like, "Oh my god." So that part was cool right up until fucking you play as Cyclops and he's like, "We must do good deeds today, citizens." And I'm like, "Oh god, shut up." Just shut. He is such a goody two shoe. I was like, okay, we're done. I made it to like level 3 with him, and I was like, we're done here. I can't take you anymore.
You know he's like a Boy Scout. Come on.
Oh, it was so annoying. I ended up turning the character voices down just so I didn't have to listen to that. And then I was like, no, this is. I mean, he's a really good range character, but
Right.
it was so annoying. So it's that kind of stuff. Like Ghost Rider, he keeps making comments to the Punisher about how the Punisher doesn't understand what hell is really like, because obviously Ghost Rider's from hell, and it's those small little touches like that. You can unlock you know their classic kind of comic book costumes, so you get that.
Oh, so they're like got the bright yellow for the X-Men?
Yes. There's bright yellow spandex.
Nice.
There was one that somebody was asking why he was a human. I don't know if that was, I forget who it was, but somebody was asking why is this person a human, and it's like, well, because they unlocked the costume, like Groot. Somebody apparently during Christmas, you could dress up Groot in Christmas tree lights.
That's awesome.
The Hulk will come in every once in a while. You'll see him. He's wearing like a little Santa hat and like some Santa spandexy shorts. It's hilarious when you just come in and you see these just random things like that. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. In fact, I'll probably play it again some more this weekend just because it's just mindless fun, kind of like what Diablo 3 was. I mean, we didn't play it for the story, we played it because we were always hunting for better gear, and there's that addictiveness of taking out huge mobs of enemies
Hmm.
and feeling all badass. And that's just, it's got that, and the fact that you can have you have those random interactions with people. We're all going to go take out this boss now, so let's all just meet up and do it, and everybody's just kind of doing that. So it's a good time.
Oh, good. Maybe I'll get to it. I want to. I don't. So, which will be my first MMO? Like Final Fantasy 14, or
I wouldn't. I mean, this has the MMO element. I just say it MMO because it's like an ARPG MMO.
okay? So you wouldn't consider it a true MMO?
I wouldn't
Like,
consider it a true MMO. It's nice because you're basically playing online MMO-ish style where you got a bunch of people and you're all trying to do it, but it's more ARPG than anything else. The
hmm.
online component is just kind of a nicety. So we're not really changing the world. Like if I complete that challenge just restarts all over again. It's the same thing, right? Take out
Yeah.
X amount of this. You're not really influencing the world, or you're not really going out on quests to do certain things. It's just the online aspect of it that just kind of sits there. So I would Final Fantasy 14. If you really do that, that will be your first MMO, really.
Okay.
So
I mean, I bought it, so I plan on at least giving it a
2 hours.
no. That's a chance. A little bit. 2 hours is not enough to give anything a chance.
Oh,
I give it at least 3. Come on.
there we go. Oh, I was going to say 2.5, but man, you're really being generous here with the
I
3.
am.
So that's what I've been playing. So take us home, Carrie.
Okay. Well, while you were talking, I went on ahead and bought the fight pad. Just so for the Mortal Kombat, it's because I was like looking, I was like, oh, it is just the D-pad, and then I have to put my hand over the analog stick. I think I might like that better, and it's just kind of cool with a little silver dragon on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's my justification, because apparently I have more money than brains sometimes. Um, so if there's anything you would like us to specifically talk about, you leave a comment on this post. You can email me at strategyguidereviews@gmail.com. We have a Twitch channel which Chris and I will. Maybe when I get a little better, I can either I will be his practice dummy for fatalities and brutalities, or we'll actually just kind of go against each other for fun and see how that goes sometime. Uh, we're still playing around with it. And we are having a giveaway right now for a extra Goro code that Chris has. So you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/strategy guide reviews. And how to enter for that is there. You can follow us on Twitter at Starvin. I'm at Crunchy Chocobo, and the site is at Strategy Reviews. And of course, we ask that you keep on reading SGR for any strategy guys news, thoughts, feelings, reviews, or Chris's randomness.
Yay, randomness.
Yep. All right, so we'll see y'all next week.
And we're out. Later.